All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Sorry, I almost forgot. Thank you to the parent who definitely just let me know about the homework video. Okay. We have okay, 10 out of 20. We're going to multiply them both by 5. So we're going to get 50 out of 100 because 10 out of 20 is 1/2. And um Nope. Sorry. Okay. And so in decimal form, that's 0.50 hundredths or 0 and 5 tenths. Those are the same. All right. We create a plan and we respond to the question asked in context with precise units. Okay. I'm trying to think the loadout that we need for this. Just like, 3/6 is 1/2, those types of things. All right. The assessment reference sheet is on the bottom, and let's get started. This is from Thursday, April 17th, and there were like 7 or 8 kids who were exempt, but I don't think that we got you I don't think that we got you the paper for it. So sorry about that. We'll try to make it up for you tomorrow. If you checked your email, you had to get I think I don't even know how out of how many it was. Maybe a 7, oh no, an 8, 9, 10. That's what you had to get. I think an 8, 9, and 10. Okay. Anyways, all right. Amy wants to make 2 of her favorite cookie recipes. One recipe needs 1.5 cups of flour. The other needs 2.5. How much flour does she need? We have to add because we need to know how much total flour. 1.5 plus 2 3/4. Okay. My least common denominator is going to be 4 because both of them go into it. This one's good to go. I'm setting up my table. 4 divided by 2 is 2. Goose gander 2. So now I have 1 2/4 plus 2 3/4. I have 5/4 and 3. And then this is 1 1/4. So I get to combine these and I have 4 1/4 cups of flour. Here, a lot of you got dinged on this because it says enter your fractions in the exact form shown. I did not ask you for the sum. I asked you to enter the fractions in the exact form. So that means that, yes, I'm trying to add them, but I need a new denominator. So I'm thinking like 24. You could also have 48. Okay. Either way, I mean, you can keep going, 72, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so let's go back where let's set the table, times fraction bar. 24 divided by 6 is 4. What's good for the goose, good for the gander? 5 times 4 is 20. It's kind of like a swoop around. 24 divided by 8 is 3. What's good for the goose, good for the gander? 1 times 3 is 3. Okay, so I would have expected this entered, or times 2, or 40 and 6/48. I don't want the sum. I want to follow the directions that it asks. Okay. Here we go. Isabel lives 3/4 miles from school. Janet lives 2/3 miles from school. How much further does Isabel live from school than Janet? All right. So I'm thinking we are subtracting here because one of them is further than the other. Okay. So we're doing 3/4. That's also larger minus 2/3. Okay. I'm thinking 12. So I'm setting up my table times fraction bar times fraction bar. 12 divided by 3 is 4. Goose, gander, 8. 12 divided by 4 is 3. Goose, gander, died. 9 minus 8 is 112. Boop. Okay. All right. Next page. Oh, I love these cricket problems. All right. Nick measured 2 crickets in science. Okay. The lengths of the 2 crickets are shown. This is difficult to see, Walter told me, but it's 3/8 and 5/8. Like, can you zoom or can you not zoom? I don't know if I need to. All right. Well, anyways, this is 3/8 and this is 5/8. Okay. Cricket A, cricket B. He asked them to compare them to half an inch. All right. So part A says, Nick says that they're both greater than 1/2 because the numerator is greater than the numerator and a half. Compare 1/2. Okay. So I have 1/2 equals 4/8. All right. 3/8 is less than 4/8, which is the 1/2, right? And it tells me to use these symbols. A lot of you didn't use those symbols, so you didn't get the points. Now you got to follow the directions. Oh my gosh. At least you have this in front of you, but it's really bad on here. I don't know how to fix it. Hold on. We'll just do the best that we can. Okay. Anyways, and then I have 5/8, and that's greater than 4/8, which is again 1/2. So Nick is wrong. Okay. Nick's incorrect because 3/8 is less than 1/2 at 4/8. Okay. In order to compare all fractions need the same denominator. We call them like denominators. Okay. And so when he did that, it wasn't true. All right. Also, he recorded the distance each cricket jumped. A jumped 1 3/4 feet, and B jumped 3 2/4 feet. It says cricket B jumped 2 1/4 feet further than cricket A because the difference is 2. Okay, but his reasoning, unfortunately, again, is incorrect because watch what happens. -1 3/4. I can't subtract the 3/4 from 2/4 because I don't have enough fourths. But I have plenty of fourths over here because 3 is bigger than 1. So I'm going to convert one of those 3's into 2 and have 4/4 added to my fractions to have an improper fraction. Okay, now I have 2 6/4, which is the same as 3 2/4. 4 goes into that once, 2 left over. 2 6/4 minus 1 3/4. I'm going to get 3/4 and then 1. Okay, so unfortunately, okay, cricket B is 1 3/4 feet longer, not 2 1/4 feet. Notice I'm always using the units, right? Nick's reasoning is incorrect. So first I've given the correct difference. Now Nick's reasoning is incorrect because he didn't rename the fractions with the whole number. He didn't borrow enough to take 3/4 away. Okay, that's it. That's how I was explaining it. But notice that I'm answering both of the questions. All right. Now this one. A lot of us just skipped this or mailed it in, or I'm not really sure what happened here, but don't be afraid of problems like this. Take them one step at a time. So first, we're just going to do 3/4 plus 4/5. And then at the end, we'll come back and subtract the 7/10. 3/4, 4/5. I'm thinking 20 times fraction bar times fraction bar. Set in my table. 20 divided by 5 is 4. What's good for the goose, good for the gander. 4 times 4 is 16. 20 divided by 4 is 5. What's good for the goose, good for the gander. 3 times 5 is 15. Okay. 15 plus 16 is 15 plus 15 is 30. So that's going to be 31/20. I'm not going to change it right now. I'm just going to leave it like that because I'm going to take 7/10 away. And 7/10. But that's going to have to be 20 also, times fraction bar. 20 divided by 10 is 2, goose, gander. And now I am subtracting. 31 minus 14, I have to borrow. And I have 17/20 left. And that's C. Okay, just do one thing at a time. You can only operate one thing at a time also, like just how it goes. All right. Vivian bought 6 packages of cheese for a party. Each package of cheese weighs 8 ounces. What's the total weight in pounds of the cheese she bought? Okay, this is why I had the the reference sheet because it asked for pounds and it had ounces. Okay. So it says 1 pound is 16 ounces. I'm going to write that right here. 1 pound equals 16 ounces. Now, 6 packages. So 6 times 8 equals 48 ounces. And I'm going to divide that by, and I'm using fraction bar for it, divided by 16. And I know that 16 times 3 is 48. So there are 3 pounds with 48 ounces. Okay. So 48 divided by 16, 16, 32, 48, 3. Subtraction. Okay. Last but not least, because this is a great one. All right. First, this is stuff I have to have in my loadout. I need to know 1 yard equals 3 feet. This is not on the reference sheet. Okay. I need to know 1 foot equals 12 inches. Okay. I also need to know, yeah, that's it. Or like half a foot is 6 inches. Okay. So I know that I'm going to change them all into the same unit. And this is a little bit less than 3 feet. Almost 3 feet, right? Almost. Okay. So let's put them in order with feet. Which one do we think is 2 feet is the smallest, right? Least has to be 2 feet because all the other ones have at least 3 or close to 3. Then I have 35 inches because it's almost 3 feet because I would need 36 inches equals 3 feet, which is again a yard. Okay, so I'm positive that's why they picked that number because I would then have 1 yard here and then I would have 3.5 feet after that because that's more than a yard. A yard is 3 feet. All right. That was fun. I'm going to get to my birthday festivities. See everybody tomorrow. Love you. Night, night.